Hey, what's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope-A-Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. Make sure you check out Rope-A-Dope Radio on blogtalkradio.com / Rope-A-Dope Radio. We had Mickey Bay Jr. on the show. Last week we've had Juan Diaz. We hope to have Paulie Malignaggi and Paul Williams coming up, maybe some other prospects. Actually, a guest spot who just called in randomly. Actually, Beeb did contact him, but he had never heard back from him, so he wasn't sure if he was going to call in. But R.A. Rugged Man, the underground rapper, and obviously the guy that put Floyd Mayweather in his place, called in and talked to us for a little bit. So check it out every Wednesday, and then the After the Fight 12th and final round coverage for After the Fight. Thanks for calling in, everybody, on that big Cotto and Pacquiao fight. Let's get into this. I got a video for you guys. It's Shane Mosely, Sugar Shane, versus Andre Berto. Okay, now there's been a lot of, and this is kind of funny, but Twitter talk on this fight, and I really believe that it'll at least add to the hype because they've definitely been talking back and forth. Let's talk about Shane Mosely. Now, Shane Mosely is a guy with a great chin. He's fought a lot of different type of fighters. He's got a great right hand, good left hook, has power in both hands. You know, overall, I'd call him a boxer, a puncher boxer. He's kind of a somewhat smart brawler. You know, he's gonna brawl with you, but at times he can move around a little bit, and at times he can make minor adjustments. But I definitely wouldn't call him a boxer first. He's definitely a puncher and a brawler. He's a smart fighter. He'll get his shots off and clinch before you have a chance to get yours, much like he did against Margarito. I guess, you know, he can be outboxed. A stiff, good jab like Winky. Movement in a jab like Vernon Forrest. Rest in peace, Vernon Forrest. And Cotto. Cotto used that jab all night. The left hand just worked mostly. So he can be outboxed, and once in a while, you know, he'll flick his jab. He won't really put a bunch into his jab. He's got an okay jab if he'd actually use it, but he actually kind of settles and try to land that overhand right that he loves to throw. So once in a while, he kind of settles. He kind of is a basic fighter. I guess that would be his weakness. He can be outboxed. Berto, you know, he's got heart. He showed it in the last 2 rounds against Collazo. No matter how you scored that fight, he came on strong when he needed it. It was a tight fight. It was, you know, could have went either way. I could see it either way. Berto's got a great jab. He's got a powerful jab, actually. Berto has he has punching power, but it's really just good pop. It's not necessarily he's got one-punch knockout or anything like that. He will mix up his punches. He goes to the body like he did in the Collazo fight. He's just a good all-around fighter with the jab. I shouldn't say all around. Let me take that back. But as far as good, he's got heart. He's got hand speed. He's got a very powerful jab. A very powerful jab. And overall, you know, he's pretty good. He will go to the body. He will go to the body. I thought he did that well against Collazo. Now, his weaknesses, you know, some people could say his chin. Collazo almost dropped him. He had been dropped by a guy with not a lot of power. Obviously, you know, his stance. His stance, sometimes his feet are so wide, and sometimes he almost gets sideways. And he's got a great uppercut, but he's really off balance. He doesn't have great balance when he throws it. I will say that he does have a great uppercut, but it's like he has to stand and dig through the whole thing, and almost gets off balance there for a second. Another thing is his inside game. You know, he'll get his punches off from the outside. He uses jab and all that, but a lot of his damage is done on the outside. If you look at that Collazo fight, when he was on the inside, he really wasn't throwing punches. And when he's on the inside, he's either getting hit, not throwing punches, or grabbing. And once in a while, he'll get his punches off, and then he'll kind of lunge grab. And I think that Mosely could take advantage of him right there. Berto has to improve his inside game because he's going to be going against a guy that's crafty on the inside. And I think that's where the problem is going to be. You know, he's got to show movement. He's got to circle Mosely. He's got to put that stiff jab that he has in his face. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think his inside game is up to par. It's not a top level, or it's not even, I don't think it's even good. All he really does is hole on the inside, And it's one thing if you're on the inside getting your punches off and then hold. That's different. But really he lands most of his punches from the outside. So I think that'll be the difference of the fight. I think some big shots are going to be landed there, and I think there might be a time where he actually does that lunge hold where he gets caught doing it. Either way, I see Shane Mosely. I see Shane Mosely winning this fight. I wouldn't doubt if it was 8th, 9th, later. I don't see it early, but I do see a knockout here, or a TKO at least. Berto really needs movement in that jab, and work on his inside game. Get his punches off first and then clinch, you know, much like Mosely does. But right now, I just don't see it. I like Berto. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's got potential. But I just don't see him beating a seasoned vet that can fight on the inside and fight on the outside a little bit in Sugar Shane Mosely. So I see a knockout mid to late, but I would probably say late more. Not quite sure, but I do see a knockout for Shane Mosely. Anyway, like I said, check out Rope-A-Dope Radio every Wednesday on blogtalkradio.com/Rope-A-Dope Radio. And also check out for after the fight coverage, and call in and listen live and get in the chat room for both shows. Call into the 12th and final round. Like I said, we're going to have Paulie Malignaggi in the future. And we're also going to have Paul Williams. Anyway, this has been the Rope-A-Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. Peace.